2026 has been presented by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman for the 9th consecutive time. To have a discussion on this budget, we have with us the Assistant Professor of Finance, Ms. Manpriya. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Ms. Manpriya will talk about the key takeaways of this budget. Ma'am, what do you think? How is this budget for the middle class, for the youth?
I think very well mentioned in the budget, and there is a whole lot of mention onto the Yuva Shakti. And further to that, it is a super inclusive budget, we would call it, as it is focusing on to the three Kartavya framework, wherein we have your employment opportunities being generated. We have simplified tax regimes. Further to this, we also have full-on gender inclusivity, wherein we are talking about not just women entrepreneurs in the MSME sectors, but we are also talking about building up girls' hostels so that education sector revives and comes onto strikes a balance onto the gender equation. So I think on the whole, it is focusing on to the cost of living relief is there, and further to that we have employment opportunities. Then there is also a whole lot of mention of reduced fiscal deficit, which is a very remarkable example set up by India, because not just expanding social development but also reducing its own debts is something that the government has set an example onto. And I think it is very much possible because of the improved tax regimes that we have, transparency in tax collection. Further to that, we also have GST regimes that were simplified in the last ending year itself. So I think on the whole, it is presenting a very strategic and a very inclusive, it is a very inclusive budget.
Overall. And you were talking about the fiscal deficit, we were talking about the GDP, gross domestic product. For middle class one, they doesn't know about the meaning of fiscal. What is fiscal deficit? Because you overall handle the charge of finance itself. So what is fiscal deficit? And agar ye kam ho jata hai, to what would be its benefit and all?
See, take it very simply that fiscal deficit is actually the when there is excessive expenditure by the government over its revenue collection. So the government steps into the fiscal deficit. But now reduced fiscal deficit is actually that they are reducing
its expenditure.
No, they are reducing the gap of the expenditure and income. So it is a positive benchmark, because they are also expending, but expenditure onto the right things. And then collection has also improved from the previous years. That has been possible. So the negative balance is actually coming down, and we are moving towards a positive change. So in that sense, fiscal reduction of the fiscal deficit is actually a celebrated milestone in the by the Indian government. Further to which we have GDP, which is gross domestic product. So by definition, it is actually the total value, monetary value of the goods and services that is produced within the territorial boundaries of the country. So if that is on to the improved, that means we are becoming self-reliant. And no doubt we have also seen the reforms in the manufacturing sector, where our Honorable Finance Minister, she has rolled out as to how we are reducing our dependency onto the imports in the manufacturing sector. We are trying to build a sustainable and very much self-reliant economic system. So in all these cases, these developments are definitely gonna
help
they're going to actually build us as a Viksit Bharat that we are aiming on to, that the government is aiming on to, the citizens are aiming on to. So we are definitely on through the path of Sabka Saath and Sabka Vikas.
Yeah. Ma'am, this budget announces at least one girls' hostel in each district. Also, to boost the Indian economy in education sector itself, government plan to open 5 university township near industrial corridors, and to open a new design institute for the northeast state as well.
When we are talking about 5 educational townships, whatsoever the number be, educational townships near the industry corridors are actually gonna strengthen the industry academia framework that we wholeheartedly at education institutes at Chandigarh University, we follow the same. So when you are aligning the educational institutes with the industry, definitely we are actually inculcating what actually industry demands from the students. So when we have these institutes and the industry right next to each other. So it strengthens the support that the industry can provide to the academic and build a Viksit Bharat again, as we talk about. Focus onto the Yuva Shakti into inculcating the right practices, right expectations of the industry right from the start in the higher education sector. Talking about the girls' hostel, so I think that is very much important and necessary. Absolutely, it's very much necessary because the more safer a person feels, the better they grow. So as we talk about females here, so the safer they would feel, the homely infrastructure they would get, the better they can grow. They can step out of their homes, or for that matter, live next to their hometowns, and they can actually accomplish higher educational qualifications. And let's not forget that our country is led by women.
Yes.
So in that case, even the budget is rolled out by our honorable female minister.
Finance
so
minister,
so in that case, let's not forget the power of women as an inculcating factor to the overall growth of the economy.
Yeah, countering on this, we have the finance budget have introduced a new She-Marts. What do you say about this? Why is this necessary कि women and entrepreneurs को और बढ़ावा देने के लिए to boost their SHG self-help group and MSMEs? Why it is necessary to build a whole new She-Mart for women-led entrepreneurs itself?
I would take it onto a very personal example. Like, we have all seen our near and dear friends, those who have actually opened these small, tiny cloud kitchens at their homes.
Yes.
So we know the zeal that the women these days they have in order to be self-reliant, to be dependent, to have a zeal to contribute to the economic factor, to be financially independent. And I think when something is boosted by a central level, so that definitely gives a confidence to the people around. So in this case, the She-Marts for the MSME sectors is actually a confident building strategy wherein providing certain incentives, certain opportunities to the women entrepreneurs is actually gonna work towards making a self-reliant economy.
Ma'am, if we talk about the school education, the higher education, I am just I am not remembering the exact figures. I am saying this: the school education received 83,561 crore, and the higher education itself received 55,724 crores. Do you think that these allocations indicate about the government focus separately on this higher and secondary education?
See, I think government has very well focused onto a very basic structure, which is stronger the foundation, stronger the future.
Yeah.
So school education actually marks a strong foundation in the life of
for the very
human.
beginning. Yeah.
Yes. So in that case, if we are contributing or we are allocating a higher budget to the school education, the government is actually trying to signify that the stronger the foundation of the education and learning is for a human, the higher or the stronger is gonna be the future, and youth is the India's core economic pillar, economic strength, you call it.
Yeah.
So in those cases, I feel that this kind of allocation is very much evident as to what government is looking forward to.
Yeah.
So not only this, they have also rolled out this education budget to the rural and underprivileged sectors. So as I rightly mentioned in the very beginning, the government is actually focusing onto the inclusivity, not just onto the gender segment, but also onto the various economic sectors. It is also promoting inclusivity onto the various districts, and in those cases, I think this is a very strategic and well-planned move. And coming down to the budget for the higher education, the higher education is actually focusing onto the skill building, efficiency, productivity. So in order to align with the NEP 2020 and other digital education policies, so such kind of budget allocation is actually gonna serve the benefit into the Indian growth. So in those cases, I think it is a very strategically aligned budget onto the higher education and the school education as well.
From this budget 2026, overall, do you think that government managed to balance the fiscal deficit and the expenditure?
Yes, fiscal deficit coming down from 4.3% to 4.4% is actually a call out to how the government is contributing and maintaining that seesaw and acting as a fulcrum to that seesaw, where on one hand there is this expenditure for social development, and on the other hand there is this collection of taxes as the major source of the government's revenue. So in all of these cases, the budget has proved the government has proved itself through this budget rollout that a fiscal benefit and a fiscal incentive is actually maintained, fiscal deficit is actually maintained, and overall the government is working in the right direction.
Yeah.
We are hopeful that we are going to achieve the Viksit Bharat aim of the government.
Yeah, that is 2047. Thank you so very much for your time, Ms. Manpriya. Starting from fiscal management to education sector to the Yuva Shakti, this budget allocation boosts the economy and we all move towards the Viksit Bharat 2047 Lakshya. Thank you so very much for your valuable insights, and we hope that you all gonna get this in very simple language. Thank you for joining us.